Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Welcome back to another episode right here at Mike's Mods and Customs. Today we got a fantastic episode to show you, so please take a seat, grab yourself a beverage, get comfortable, and enjoy the show. Alright, hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the first update for the small scale group build. This is what we're building right here. My entry video went out a couple weeks ago. Here we are, Friday, February 2nd. This officially started yesterday, and I did just so. Last night, started working on tires. Man, did they need a lot of cleanup. The seam lines, the inside, they didn't fit the rims just right, so I had to sand down the rims, had to sand down the inside of the wheels, then I had to clean up the seam lines. I got those painted in the Tamiya black rubber, or rubber black, the lacquer. And for reference, that's LP number 65 from Tamiya Lacquer Paints. The rubber color. And then I went after the rims. I just got them stuck onto some toothpicks here. The rear dualies. And then the front singles and a spare tire. Those have been painted up in this plate mail metal from Army Painter. It's a nice aluminum type color. So that's what I've gotten done so far. So it's basically just step one. Step two is we got to go and find the axle. This model setup is a little strange because there's no numbers on here. So we always have to keep referring back to this sheet. And then the part, and then find what you need. So it's going to be a venture. So I'm going to continue on here. Going to work with step number 2, and step number 3 looks like I'm going to need to be painting up the rear axle housings. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this setup here for the chassis and see what I got to get painted black, and then we'll go from there. So hang in there with me. I'll be back as I proceed. All right, and proceed we have done. So that axle proved to be pretty interesting. The super tiny axles that they give you on the parts tree, it was just way too small. So I did a couple of different things. First I went after, let me just grab on here and show you. Right here. This is a metal, well, it's from the glue. This glue right here, that metal tip they give you in there, that was all clogged up. I couldn't get it cleaned out. So it ended up being the perfect size to fit right in here to be my front axle. So I was like, all right, that's perfect. That's good. So that's my front axle right there. I don't know if you can see right there. That's my front axle. The second tire is drying. Then I'll put it in the chassis. Then I proceeded to work towards step 3, which was doing the rear axle housing, the dualies. The 2 axles in the back. And that led to be interesting. So I had to find an alternative to that glue straw, if you will. Right here, brass rod, K&S, number 8160. It's 0.81 millimeters in diameter. So what I did there, this is all drying right now, but I can show you. I have the 2 halves to the axle housing, and then the frame, the chassis pieces, the leaf springs, I should say, I'm sorry, and then a cross member that's in there. So I cut these 2 to be really close to what I need for length. These are drying right now. Once all that's set, I will then measure out these and get these trimmed just a little bit more so the tires sit on there nice and flush. So that's where we're at with that. And here is the main chassis. That's all that it is. It's all about 4.5 inches, 4 inches maybe. We're going to get those pieces onto this guy next. And then I got to start with the body. This is the body, all separate panels. So I want to go ahead and get all this mocked up and glued together. It's going to be a 2-tone color of some sort. Actually having my wife right now help me with some color choices. So I want to get that cab assembled and go from there. So we're going to let this sit and dry. I got to go find something else to do to keep myself busy, but that's where we're at. So we've made some progress. I got the rear dual axle assembly all put together. Got the front axle taken care of. I've gotten the back half of the cab glued together and curing right now, as well as the front half of the cab and the hood. So these pieces will go together like so and will be painted as one. This is all just primer right now. I did have the front axle already installed onto the chassis, and then when I mocked up the rear axle housing, I can put this thing in 3 different spots. If you can see this little nub sticking out right there, it gives me 3 different options, so I can have 3 different wheelbase options with this truck. So I'm going to play with that yet, but the problem was when I placed this on there, and then with the front axle, it had way too much of a rake. So I did a modification to the front end here, which is now just sitting and drying, to be able to have the front end lifted a little bit higher to be equal stance across the top. Then to give you an idea, we're going to have a 2-tone paint scheme. So this right here is the rear fenders. The rear fenders and the front fenders and the running boards are going to be a different color than the rest of the truck. So kind of like, your traditional would be black and another contrasting color, but we're not doing that. We're doing 2 different colors, and the chassis and the axle housings will be still black. So that's where we're at. We're letting this stuff sit and cure. We're going to do some more sanding and priming and get that stuff ready for final paint, which we still haven't yet decided on. So until our next update, that's where we are at right now for the small scale group build update.
And thanks for joining me here for another episode here at Mike's Mods and Customs. If you really like what you see here, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and maybe even share it along to a couple of friends of yours. Once again, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next one.